even newborns can get affected with COVID.
So, what are the symptoms in children?
Fortunately, the symptoms are very mild. So about 95% they are mild flu-like symptoms. So children can have fever, a cold, cough, sore throat, headache, myalgia. There may be vomiting or diarrhea in some, and very few children, maybe less than 1%, can have conjunctivitis. But as I said, the symptoms are very mild. Only in about say 5% children may have some difficulty in breathing, and maybe 0.5% can have critical disease.
So, how is the severity seen in children?
So the severity is definitely lower than what we see in adults. So if adults, the severity is about 15%, in children it is just about 5%. And what I would say is the high risk for COVID in children are for infants and those with chronic disorders such as lung problem or kidney or heart issues, or those who have not a good immune response, that is, who are immune compromised. So these children need to be taken special care during COVID pandemic.
Do we continue with regular immunization? Which vaccines are most important?
Yes, so this is a very important question and frequently asked by parents during the lockdown. So regular immunization must go on because we need to build up the immune status of the child. At birth, the BCG, oral polio vaccine and hepatitis B must be taken before discharge from the hospital. The primary series at 6, 10, 14 weeks against the deadly diseases such as diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, H influenza B, hepatitis B, injectable polio vaccine, and rotavirus and pneumococcal vaccine. So these vaccines should be taken. And if the infant is more than 6 months of age, influenza vaccine is again important. Now please remember, influenza and COVID, they have similar manifestations. So if the child has not taken the annual flu vaccine, we would strongly encourage you to take that. And lastly, MMR vaccine, which stands for measles, mumps, rubella, is extremely important at 9 months because measles is again airborne. And so is another illness, that is chickenpox, so that one can get even if the child is at home, because airborne infections means they travel longer distance than droplet infections. The other vaccines for typhoid, hepatitis A and HPV, that is cervical cancer, can be postponed. Priority would be to complete all the primary series vaccines and the yearly flu vaccine.
How do we contact the doctor for health concern?
Yes, so for minor health concerns, teleconsultation plays a very important role, especially during the lockdown and during the pandemic, where we would discourage you to come to the hospital for minor ailments which can be solved on video consultation. So Apollo 24/7, for example, app can be downloaded, and you can in fact upload your reports or clinical pictures, and we can consult you, video consult or audio consult, and even upload a prescription which you can use to buy medicines. But definitely teleconsultation might have some limitations and should not be used in case there is an emergency, or if your child is very sick, it is important that the child is brought to the hospital.
So, can children with COVID infect others?
Yes. So even if children have very mild symptoms, they can shed the virus through their nasal secretions. So children who have even mild cold or cough should be definitely kept away from grandparents in the house, because grandparents are the ones who are going to have who might have severe complications of the illness. Also, if any member in the family has any respiratory symptom, then all are encouraged to wear mask. Children above 2 years of age can be encouraged to wear a mask if they have respiratory symptoms. And one more important point is that they can shed viruses in their stool. So, if parents or caretakers are changing diapers or washing the anal area after defecation, they must wash their hands thoroughly with soap and water.
How do we protect our children from getting COVID?
Um, Children can be protected by the standard hygiene measures that we employ for everybody. That is, one thing is until the schools are not opened by the local authorities, they are encouraged to stay indoors and not play outside. Uh, if parents come from outside, they must first go and wash their hands thoroughly before touching the home environment. They should take particular care of their mobile devices and sanitize them because children easily get hold of those devices. When anyone has cough, cold, the respiratory etiquette must be performed by covering the nose or mouth with a kerchief or a tissue paper, and hand hygiene is extremely important. Children must be taught to perform good hand hygiene or a good hand wash. The other thing is that fomites can also transmit infection. What I mean is objects coming into the house, like say parcels, courier, milk bags. So milk bags can be washed with water before handling them, but other fomites also after handling, children should be taught to perform hand hygiene. So this is important to protect them.
What other ways can we help our children cope up with this pandemic?
Okay, before I answer this question, just to add to the earlier question, that 6 feet distance is also important to protect our children. So whoever has respiratory symptoms, that 6 feet distance should be maintained. Now coming to this question, how to help our children to cope up with this pandemic. We must realize that they are also equally frustrated. They feel almost stuck inside the house, not being able to play outside, not being able to socialize with their friends outside. So it is very important for us to help maintain their mental and emotional health. What I would suggest is that the 3 R's are very important. The first R stands for reassurance. That is, you need to make them feel secure about their future. You must help them to vent out their anxiety and fears and try to allay them. You need to explain to them that they are not alone, and you give good information about COVID rather than resorting to news channels and social media which may not be age appropriate. You need to try to give proper positive information about COVID. The second point is routine. What I mean by routine is even despite the lockdown or being indoors, you must set up a routine timing for going to bed or for having meals together, or you can have some family exercise time where all of you can do some stretching or dancing. Basically, the physical activity should also go on indoors to lead a healthy lifestyle. Also important is to control the food, encourage healthy diet so that the obesity does not develop sitting indoors and eating a lot of food. So you must monitor that. And lastly, the last R stands for regulating. What I mean by regulating is that it is natural that they may have some temper tantrums. Some children become very clingy, may seek attention more. So the parents need to be patient, need to regulate them in such a way that the negative energy is diverted into positive, constructive work rather than screaming or resorting to hitting or violence, which is absolutely a no. What is encouraged is you must praise for their good behaviors, and also you encourage them to do some creative activities, do some painting or reading books. That's important. You can there are lot of virtual sites that are available for virtual safari or virtual museum tours which you can do together. In fact, this one-to-one bonding, it's the best time for a parent to bond with the child, and this must be encouraged. You must give some time and attention to your children. So it is also important to reduce the screen time, because there's tendency to have increased engagement in video games and television and movies during the lockdown or pandemic. So you must encourage them to do other activities as mentioned, or play indoor games, and thus lead a healthy lifestyle inside the house and stay safe. Thank you.
Dear viewers, if you have any questions related to this topic, please drop in your questions in the comment box. We will address it to Dr. Dhania shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.